Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to another week. My name is Mary Wells. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist here for the Little Rock Athletic Club. And topic I'm going to be talking about today, thank you Brandy for submitting your question about this, because my take on people submitting questions is if that person had that question, about 20 to 100 others had it too. So I really appreciate you participating and submitting a question to get some ideas rolling. And the question that Brandy submitted was, can you talk about stress or boredom eating, right? Right, yeah, we all know about it. And I'm gonna give you two ways to address it over what you can do. The first is kind of preventative steps about what you can do to set yourself up to keep it from happening. And then the second is what you can do when you're in the moment and you're like, oh gosh, here it is, it's about to happen. What can I do to perhaps stop it or slow it down? Okay, so the first with setting yourself up to be prepared is start with breakfast. Oftentimes people eat not enough breakfast or very little breakfast, or breakfast to a lot of people is oftentimes on the level of what I would say is a snack. It's maybe just a couple of things and the portions are on a snack size portion and not a meal size portion. You want to make it a meal and not a snack. And if you're not very hungry in the morning, that's okay too. You can spread this your new breakfast meal out over 1 to 2 hours, and you don't have to necessarily eat it all at once. If you look at your eating pattern and if you see that dinner is your biggest meal of the day, especially in a stress or boredom eating moment, then you try flipping your meals to make breakfast be your largest meal of the day. And I like to think of a snowman, like the base of the snowman is the biggest part. So have your breakfast be one of your biggest meals, and lunch might be a little bit smaller, like the middle of a snowman, and then your dinner to be the top of the snowman and to be your smallest meal of the day. Depending on your activity level and when you exercise, consider you might need to eat more substantially sized meals throughout the day, but take a look at your stress eating pattern, and if your dinner is the biggest meal of the day, try moving that biggest meal of the day down to the bottom to have that snowman base, as I like to call it. Second is water drinking or staying well hydrated throughout the day. There's solid evidence out there that keeping yourself well hydrated helps you stay in tune with true hunger cues, and eating because you're truly hungry and not because out of stress or boredom in this instance. If you're staying well hydrated, if your urine is light yellow to clear and to consistently hydrate throughout the day, you can start tapering in the evening and then not having any water if you'd like, or other hydrating fluids like tea or bubbly waters about an hour and a half before you go to bed. So you're not woken up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom. Exercise has a really cool twofold effect on stress and boredom eating, and our bodies are set up to handle the stress response with either fight or flight, right? You've heard about this. So when you're in fight or flight mode, there's a lot of tension in your body so that your muscles are ready to expel that tension and either a fight, deal with this stressor, or a flight, get away from it. So Exercising gives a release of that muscular tension that you're holding. Massage does too, but nobody's getting massages right now. But you can take advantage of this muscle tension and help dissipate it and relieve it by participating in exercise, be it a yin yoga class or Tai Chi, which are real slow and deliberate, but they take movements and they hold the muscle to release the pressure, or something more high intensity that is sudden, hard, powerful movements. And not only does exercise help release the muscular tension, it also changes your breathing. And oftentimes in stressful situations, our breathing goes real shallow, but you can help dissipate that stress by, slowing down, taking in some big deep breaths, which is what, again, exercise or physical activity of any intensity helps us do, which is really, really pretty cool. And a second part about exercise or physical activity is that it helps you get more in tune with what is actual hunger, true hunger, and not eating out of boredom or stress. So I love that about physical activity and exercise. Last but not least, even if you've set yourself up with these three things: a better breakfast, a meal like breakfast, well hydrated, you've done some exercise or physical activity, but you still feel a moment of, oh my gosh, I'm going to go eat something because I'm stressed or I'm bored. I want to encourage you to try something that has the acronym of HALT, H-A-L-T. So the H part is asking yourself, am I really hungry? Do I truly have an appetite? Is my stomach grumbling? Do I feel kind of shaky? Am I getting low? Is it time to eat? Has it been a while since I've eaten? Has it been 3 or 5 hours since I've eaten? Or am I hungry for company or a social interaction? Or am I hungry for something else that's not food, but am I trying to eat to satisfy that hunger that's not a real hunger, not a true hunger? A is, am I anxious or angry? Am I eating out of emotions that I'm not sure how to handle or what to do with? L, am I lonely for social interaction? I'm an extrovert, and this time I've been challenged by having reduced time with family and friends, and picking up the phone and sending a text or a phone call or something helps. So I turn myself to that instead of turning to a bag of chips. And is it late? That can be the L2. Is it late in the day? Have I not had enough to eat? And typically late in the day too, we often let our guard down, especially if we haven't had a good sized breakfast and a good sized lunch, and we think, oh, you know what, I really haven't had that much to eat today, so I might as well just catch up right here and now. But that's a hard conversation to have with yourself, because you typically justify overeating in that moment. So is it late? Is it late in the day that I'm wanting to do this? And the T in HALT is, am I tired? Tiredness, as you've probably read before and I've mentioned before, can be a trigger for cravings that aren't really real when you go consecutively. And that varies for some people. Some people it's 2 or 3 nights. Some people it takes longer than that. If you've gone consecutively without enough adequate sleep, you feel tired and you're more likely to crave highly processed carbohydrates. So take a look at yourself. Is there any room that you could play with some of these ideas to see if it helps with your stress and boredom eating this week? Could your breakfast be bumped up? Could your hydration be better? Recognize the empowerment that's in exercise or physical activity. It gives you that 2-for-1 punch or benefit with help getting in touch with true hunger, because this isn't about avoiding eating. The longer you avoid eating, the bigger the stress eating or the boredom eating moment's going to be. It's about listening to your body and responding to cues appropriately, true hunger cues appropriately. Or could you, when you get in that moment, and can you give yourself a HALT, H-A-L-T? Are you really hungry? Are you anxious or angry? Or are you lonely, or is it late, or is it tired? Listen, anything you can try this week on those. Just think progress, not perfection with all of these. Just pick one, see if it works for you. Thanks so much. See you next week. Bye.